Hello, welcome to Guidance Education channel. We are continuing chapter 1 solids under class 12 chemistry. In the coming few videos, we will discuss some probable questions. This video is part 1 in that series. The topic discussed include questions based on crystal defect, electrical property of solids and unit cell types. Questions are answered with full explanation. Each question has many sub-questions also. The video will be of great use in the examination hall, so watch the video completely without skipping. Like the video, share the video and also leave your comments in the comment box below. If you have not yet subscribed my channel, do subscribe it now and also press the bell button so that you get intimated as soon as videos are posted. Thank you very much. Let us do the first question. Schottky and Frenkel defects are stoichiometric defects. Write any two difference between Schottky and Frenkel defect. Section B. When pure sodium chloride crystal is heated in the atmosphere of sodium vapor, it turns yellow. Why? This question is from the portion Imperfections in Crystals. I shall first explain the portion and then go on to answer the question. Crystalline solids have the particles arranged in a very ordered manner, but in most cases in reality, when crystals are formed, this ordered arrangement of particles becomes impossible due to several reasons. This is what is called imperfections in crystals or crystal defects. Three types of crystal defects are observed in crystal: stoichiometric defect, non-stoichiometric defect and impurity defect. Stoichiometric defect is one type where the defect in the crystal does not affect the stoichiometry, that is the ratio of the atoms present in the molecule of the compound. In non-stoichiometric defect, due to the defect, the stoichiometry is affected. The stoichiometry is not maintained. In impurity defect, the crystal has certain impurities and therefore the arrangement of the particle gets altered. Section A of the question is about two types of stoichiometric defects. Schottky and Frenkel defects are exhibited by ionic compounds. Consider diagram A. It is a diagrammatic representation of a portion of a crystal showing Schottky defect. The positive ions A and negative ions B alternate each other in the given rows. From the diagram, it is clear that this site ought to have been occupied by a negative ion that is missing here. In the next row, you find this lattice point which ought to have been occupied by a positive ion also is missing. So in Schottky defect, equal number of cations and anions are missing. So density gets reduced, but electrical neutrality is maintained. Schottky defect is exhibited by those ionic compounds where the cation and anion sizes are almost the same and their coordination number is very high. This defect is similar to vacancy defect exhibited by non-ionic compounds. Consider the diagram marked B. This is the diagrammatic representation of Frenkel defect. The picture shows the alternate arrangement of cation and anion. One particular site you find one ion is missing. It has been shifted from this position to the interstitial space. This space is called interstitial space. So that ion is not lost. In the case of Schottky defect, the ions are totally lost. So this is one point of difference between Frenkel and Schottky defect. Frenkel defect is similar to interstitial defect in non-ionic compounds. Density is not affected by this defect. Due to the defect, the negative ion and positive ion come closer to each other, as a result of which the dielectric constant of the substance increases. This defect is exhibited by such ionic compounds where the cation is much smaller than the anion. Now I will explain the B section of the question. In the picture you see an anion site vacant. In the case of sodium chloride, the anion is the chloride ion. When sodium chloride crystal is heated in an atmosphere of sodium vapor, sodium gets settled on the surface of the sodium chloride crystal. Then the chloride ion escapes to the outside and combines with sodium, forming sodium chloride, and the sodium atom gets ionized and the electron released by the sodium atom diffuses into the crystal, occupies the vacant space left by the chloride ion which has escaped out. This free electron absorbs energy from white light which gives yellow color. This free electron site is called F center or Farb center. Farb in French means color. Similarly, when lithium chloride is heated in the presence of lithium vapor, it imparts pink color. And also, potassium chloride when heated in presence of potassium vapor gives lilac color, that is violet. I included these two compounds also here because instead of sodium chloride they may ask a question based on any one of these. The principle and diagram are the same. I have explained it thoroughly well. Now we will see how we should write the answer. Under section A, you need to write only two differences between Schottky and Frenkel defect. In Schottky defect, there is decrease in density. For Frenkel defect, density is not affected. For Schottky defect, equal number of cations and anions are lost. Therefore, electrical neutrality is not affected. In Frenkel defect, ions are not lost. It is only shifted. So, there is shifting of cation into interstitial space. I have also noted some examples for compounds showing Schottky defect and Frenkel defect. Silver bromide shows both. Now answer for section B. Due to the anion vacancy occupied by free electron, which is called F center or Farb center, the center absorbs some energy from white light giving yellow color. I hope this is clear. Next question. Solids can be classified into three types on the basis of their electrical conductivity. Section A. Name the three types of solids classified on the basis of electrical conductivity. Section B. How will you explain such classification on the basis of band theory? Solids can be classified on the basis of their electrical conductivity. Electrical conductivity of solids range between 10 raised to minus 20 per ohm per meter and 10 raised to 7 per ohm per meter. Let it be represented as is shown in the figure. So there are 27 orders of magnitude for conductivity. Let us suppose this is the 0 point. Solids having conductivity range between 10 raised to minus 20 per ohm per meter and 10 raised to minus 10 per ohm per meter are classified as insulators because they cannot conduct electricity because their conductivity is very low. Those solids having conductivity range between 10 raised to minus 6 ohm per meter and 10 raised to 4 ohm per meter are slightly conductive and they are called semiconductors. And those solids having conductivity range between 10 raised to 4 per ohm per meter and 10 raised to 7 per ohm per meter are called conductors. They are good conductors. Example, metals have a conductivity of 10 raised to 7 per ohm per meter. So, on the basis of electrical conductivity, solids are classified into three types and they are conductors, semiconductors and insulators. Section B. We have to use band theory in order to explain these three types of solids. You already know molecular orbital theory which you learned in 11th standard to explain formation of molecules from atoms. When molecules are formed, the atomic orbitals of the participating atoms combine to form molecular orbitals. They get rearranged. Molecular orbitals form bands. The bands formed are of two types, valence band and conduction band. Valence band has low energy and conduction band has high energy. The valence band may be partially filled or completely filled. The conduction bands may be partially filled or may be totally empty. When a substance is subject to electric field, it can show the property of conduction only when electrons from the valence band cross the energy gap and move to the conduction band. Whether the electrons can move from the valence band into the conduction band depends upon the energy gap between these two. If the energy gap between these two bands, that is valence band and conduction band, is very little, then these two bands will lie very close to each other, or the valence band may overlap the conduction band. Then electrons from the valence band can enter the conduction band, provided the conduction band is partially filled or totally empty. Let us make a diagrammatic representation of this. This is the partially filled valence band which has electrons. This is the empty valence band. The line represents the gap between the valence band and the conduction band. The energy gap is very negligible. When this substance is placed in an electric field, electrons can easily jump from partially filled valence band to empty valence band. So they function like good conductors. The valence band is fully filled and it is at lower energy level, and the conduction band is empty and it is at higher energy level. The energy of valence band and conduction band is not a discrete value, it is a range. It has an upper limit and a lower limit. The upper limit of the energy of the valence band and the lower limit of the energy of the conduction band are overlapping. That is, the value is the same there. So when placed in electric field, electrons can easily pass from fully filled valence band to conduction band. So these are also good conductors. In this case, there is a small gap between the valence band and the conduction band. When placed in an electric field, some electrons may cross this energy gap and pass on to the conduction band. Such substances are called semiconductors. If the energy gap is very great, then electrons cannot gain enough energy to jump from the valence band to the conduction band. They are insulators. This is the explanation for conductors, semiconductors and insulators on the basis of band theory. You need represent the diagram correctly and then only note down the points. I have also given the points below. If the valence band overlaps conduction band, they are conductors. If the energy gap is very small, electrons can move and then they behave like semiconductors. If the energy gap is very great, electrons cannot cross and then they become insulators. I hope this was quite clear. Next question. Unit cells are broadly classified into primitive and centered unit cells. What is a unit cell? Name 3 types of centered unit cells. Unit cell dimension of a particular crystal is A is equal to B is equal to C. Alpha is equal to beta is equal to gamma equal to 90, that is 90 degrees. Identify the crystal system. Give one example for cubic unit cell. I have already discussed this portion in one of my previous videos, that is types of unit cells. If you have not yet watched that video, please click the I button in order to watch that video. You will get all explanation there. So we will directly pass on to answer this question. Section A, you have to write the definition of unit cell. The 3-dimensional repeating shapes in a crystal system are called unit cells. Now section B, the 3 types of centered unit cells are 1. Body-centered unit cell, 2. End-centered unit cells, and 3. Face-centered unit cell. The dimensions of a unit cell is given. All the dimensions are equal. Edge lengths are equal. A is equal to B is equal to C, and the angles are also equal and also equal to 90 degrees. That means the type is cubic unit cell. Section D, sodium chloride. We will meet in the next video with the next set of questions. Thank you.